Not a clue, I told him. Together, Sam and I turned and stared at Davy.
What?
He held up his hands innocently.
I didn't say a thing.
No, but you know something, I said. Davy knows lots of things, Kevin informed us. Now that the poodle mayhem had finally died down, he was ready to tune back into the conversation. He's in high school. Davy was generally a really good kid. But I'm a mother, so I had to ask. Are you in trouble?
Whoa.
Davy took a step back.
Where did that come from?
Note that he hadn't answered my question. Kev says you have a secret. It's a surprise, Kevin crowed. A really fun one. Sam and I both relaxed somewhat. Davy wasn't in the clear just yet, however.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Sam asked.
He can't,
Davy replied.
Why not?
I promised, Kev said solemnly. I crossed my heart. I hunkered down to his level. It isn't a good thing to keep secrets from your parents.
It's not our fault,
Davy told us. Then whose is it? As soon as the words were out of my mouth, I suspected I already knew what his answer was going to be. Before he could reply, however, the doorbell rang. Immediately, the poodles regrouped and raced toward a new target.
Saved by the bell,
Davy said with a grin. Sam was closer to the front of the hall than I was. He glanced through the row of glass panes beside the door before unlatching it and pulling it open. The fact that he didn't say a word to the dogs, who were now milling around his legs, confirmed my guess. Aunt Peg, the poodle's favorite person, had arrived. We hadn't been expecting visitors, but that never seemed to matter where Aunt Peg was concerned. She swept through life like a tornado, making grown men tremble and thrusting all unwanted obstacles from her path. The fact that she was in her 70s had neither mellowed her disposition nor slowed her stride. Aunt Peg did what she wanted, when she wanted, and damn the consequences to anyone who attempted to impede her progress. The door drew open, and a draft of cold air blew into the hallway. It was early February, and several inches of new snow had fallen overnight. In a Connecticut winter, that was nothing out of the ordinary. Aunt Peg stamped her booted feet on the front mat before coming inside. She was appropriately bundled up from head to toe. A longtime breeder of Standard Poodles, Peg was now an acclaimed dog show judge, so she'd had plenty of experience dealing with inclement weather. Her eyes lit up when the poodle pack came spilling out of the house. Of course, she paused to greet the dogs first. Never mind that we, her human relatives, stood shivering only a few feet away.
You're doing a good job with Plum's hair,
Aunt Peg said to Sam. She aimed a wave in his direction.
It's coming along nicely.
Sam and I had whelped a litter of puppies for her the previous summer. Aunt Peg had kept a male she'd named Joker. Sam, who'd recently lost one of his older bitches, had chosen Plum for himself. Both puppies were now growing coat so they could begin their show careers in the spring.
She'll be ready soon,
Sam agreed. He drew Aunt Peg inside so he could close the door. The poodle scrambled in quickly behind her.
You lot,
Aunt Peg motioned to the boys.
Come and give me a hug.
Kevin complied eagerly. Davy was only a step behind. At his age, he wasn't into hugging, but like the rest of us, he knew better than to deny a request from Aunt Peg. You didn't say hello to Bud, Kevin complained when he'd extricated himself. As she unzipped her parka, Aunt Peg looked down toward the floor at her feet. She stood 6 feet tall, so there was a fair bit of distance between her and the little mutt who was gazing up at her and wagging his stubby tail. Bud was a total chow hound. He was probably hoping Aunt Peg had a dog biscuit in her pocket.
Bud's not a poodle,
she pointed out unnecessarily.
He doesn't know that,
Davy said with a laugh.
Quite so.
Aunt Peg reached down and ruffled the dog's ears. Then she pulled off her parka and draped it over my arm.